Hey there! You're watching Downunder Derby TV.
Welcome back, guys. We've got the last game for today. Scartel up against Carnage. So Carnage from Canberra, Scartel from Brisbane. And we'll fire through the names for you.
Okay, so from Brisbane, Scartel, we have skating D, Elvis, His Rolliness, Judgmental, Blacktooth Grinner, Lurch, Hank Fister, Cutthroat King, Gallagher, Drop Bear, Synaptic Kid, Tropstar, Shirley, Kosher, Pistol Knight, and Brutal Deluxe. Well, they're not all skating. Some of those people are benching.
And we're going to sit down and we're going to watch the first one and then we'll read through Carnage in a moment. We've got His Rolliness jamming for Scartel and picking up lead on the inside line. Boyd, Astro Boyd from Canberra is jamming for the Carnage. Doing a little bit of jammer on jammer at the back of the pack and really fighting through a strong Scartel wall. Ducks up the inside line, not lead. His Rolliness just fighting his way through, picking up the last point from Carnage. And picking up 5 points for Scartel. Not a bad start.
No.
For Carnage, Canberra, we've got Thuggernaut, Cliffhanger, Jammy Slamstar, Copter, Pension Check, Wreck-It, J-Jam, Bobby Mack, Leo Slayer, Astro Boyd, Beelzebub, David Deckham, Enigma, Doc Marks, Slams, and Terry Smackdoll.
And we have Drop Blair jamming for Scartel and David Deckham for Carnage in this second jam.
And like Scartel, some of those are on the bench. And we're starting this one with David Deckham up the inside line, doing some fancy toe work stuff, just bouncing his way through, picking up lead for Capital Carnage.
Drop Bear being drawn back there. And is now through the pack. Not too far behind David Deckham.
David Deckham picking up the 5 points, the jammer point on that pass. Picking up a couple of points there. I think it's 1 and 2. Waiting for the hands, because counting is not my forte.
3 points there.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Bringing a total to 8 for Carnage and 5 for Scartel.
So if you've been watching the feed, we've had some amazing jams going on in the game previous. That was a hoot.
Yeah, the very exciting game. Lots of fancy footwork, jumping around.
And a very busy penalty box.
A very, very busy penalty box. Bobby Smack jamming for Carnage this time and Cutthroat King for Scartel.
Both jammers stuck behind respective walls, fighting their way through. It's a 3-on-3 battle of blockers. Now there's an opening up the outside. Cutthroat really took advantage of that.
But Copter took him out, but apparently went out as well because Cutthroat King just kept skating.
That's it. Bobby Smack with a stash, popping through the pack. About half a lap behind Cutthroat. Big assist from Scartel as he flies up the line, calling it off just to be safe.
2 points in that, I think, for Scartel.
I think both these teams are going to call it off quite quickly and try to avoid other passes.
Yeah, that's the sensible way to do it in general.
And here we have the team roster for Carnage. Thuggernaut, Jammy Slamstar, Pension Check, D-Jams, Leo Slayer, Beelzebub, Enigma, Cliffhanger, Copter, Erectile Dysfunction, what a name, Bobby Smack, Astro Boyd, and David Deckham. There are some fantastic names in there. Holy mackerel.
You can see why some people are skating under nicknames.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely.
So Boyd jamming for Carnage here, and
Hank Fister.
Fister for Scartel, and he's got lead.
Boyd really pushing up and getting low, which is hard for a tall guy like himself. But gets down low, drives it forward, and clears himself off the plaque.
Hank Fister calling it off. And he's got 3 points, I think, in that jam. Oh, no, maybe it was 4. Yeah, it was 4. That brings it to 8 for Carnage, to 11 for Scartel. His Rolliness about to jam for Scartel. And David Deckham up again for Carnage. Carnage, of course, from Canberra, part of the Varsity Derby League, and Scartel, the men's team from Brisbane City Rollers.
Keep your tweets coming through at hashtag MRDADU. We'd love to see them, and they might even pop up on the screen. Let us know what you're doing this weekend, who you're going for. Oh, there we go. Hey, Jess. Hey, Glam Cracker. How are you? Lovely to see that you're watching the games. Very exciting stuff.
And the Scartel jammer being sent for a track cut there. David Deckham has lead for Carnage.
Power
And
jam.
A power jam.
Yee-hee. Popping himself through, picking up another 5 in the sky for David Deckham. Capital Carnage. The pivot from Scartel's being sent to the box also. Didn't catch what that one was for. So we've got a power jam and a pack advantage. Scartel really picking up the pace.
David Deckham straight past the pack then and calling it off after getting 5 points in that pass.
Carnage just lost a couple of blockers there. What they did is tried to slow the pack down by hitting on the brace. But Midas touched it too much. Broke the pack. Copped a sprinter to pick it up. But the 2 first points to get the pack back together. Did not quite get it as fast, so 1 for destruction, 1 for failure.
Bobby Smack on the jammer line for Carnage for the first time this
On the
game.
pivot line, actually, he's got his foot all the way up there. We've got the pivot.
Smack, Bobby Smack's jamming. His rolliness coming back onto track from the penalty box and getting straight through. There's only 2 Carnage blockers on the track and actually only 2 Scartel blockers on the track at the moment.
And we're going to start like that on the next one too. 2 blockers apiece on the track, very light on numbers.
Yeah, it's 3 points for Carnage in that jam still, so Carnage are up to 21 and Scartel on 11. Yeah, we've had a few penalty-heavy games today, and it's hard to tell how this one will go. Sometimes people get into a bit of a spiral at the beginning. And
I think what was so
calm down.
exciting is they were so passionate in the last game. Both teams really wanted it, and it's definitely going to pay dividends when it comes to getting their rankings.
Boyd jamming for Carnage and pretty much straight through the pack on the outside, and here's lead. Cutthroat King jamming for Scartel. Cutthroat King still being held up by the Carnage wall there. Boyd straight through again for a 5-point pass. Blacktooth Grinner heading to the box for a penalty.
Boyd coming in hot to the middle and then drifting to the outside. Getting done for a back block as he's trying to call it off. Unlucky.
So we'll now have no lead jammer. Cutthroat King having a power jam at the moment with Astro Boyd in the box. But this jam will run to its full 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Exhausting for everyone when that happens, but
Carnage doing a really good job there. They only had 2 and then 3 blockers on the track and really recycling and waterfalling back onto Cutthroat. He still hasn't gotten through on this one. Canberra's got a lot of skaters facing backwards, but they've fixed up their form and gone back to the 3-wall triangle.
Boyd back on track now out of the penalty box.
I think everyone's back on track now. There's a lot of bodies.
Yep. Full complement of skaters on the track at the moment. Boyd through for another 4-point pass.
And 5 points for Cutthroat.
Total of 9 so far in this jam for Carnage and 5 for Scartel. Still skating, of course, until the 2 minutes is up. Boyd through again for another 4 points.
Boyd puts on the speed. He really wants his couple of points. Attempts an apex. Is he going to get a low block? I think he is. Yes, he does. Just as he took off then, he had a little bit too much speed and didn't quite get his foot up high enough. There's the start, I think that one was. Boyd just hopped up and ran around the outside. And then Cutthroat running through the inside, but just getting knocked out on that one. Watching some of these replays. Oh, That was the one from the last game.
Yeah.
That was a doozy.
Big hits in that game.
Oh, yeah. Big hits and low skating.
Yeah.
That's pretty much everything about that game.
Big hits, but for the most part, clean hits.
Yeah. Yeah, it did look pretty good.
We haven't seen too many dodgy hits so far in this tournament.
No. There hasn't been too many of the oohs, but lots of yays, which I think is the difference between the two.
Yeah.
If you hear the crowd go, ooh, that means they're not sure about that. But when they're all like, woo-hoo.
Currently having a team timeout for Scartel. And the score is 34 to Carnage and 20 to Scartel. Obviously still pretty close score.
For those of you playing at home and just wondering what the floor's like, the floor is lovely here. I love it. It's got a bit of grip onto it. I wear my 88s and I love it, but I'm a mad grippy fan.
I would normally wear 97s or 96s on this floor.
Yes, I am the minority when it comes to wheels.
Of course, there's been a couple of occasions this weekend where a skater has landed on the track and left a bit of a sweat patch, which has made things rather slippery for everyone.
A moistened spot.
Ooh, moist.
Ooh.
Everyone's favourite word.
Yes. I find it's one of the most entertaining words just because of the reaction. If I didn't get a reaction, I probably wouldn't say it. Yeah. Isn't it funny how that works?
I think they're still jamming for Scartel here, and it's a power jam. Astro Boyd's still in the box.
Dealing with some big hits and just shoving them off, just off the shoulder, just kiss. Feisty's fighting his way around. I keep saying feisty.
I wonder why.
Feisty. I don't know.
Jamming in plaid.
There's no pack being called and someone's going to get done for a failure to reform.
And it's 3-4 from Scartel Lurch.
Cliffhanger did very well not to enter
Hank
the pack.
Fister now heading to the penalty box, so it's a power jam for Carnage. And now we have no lead, so it'll be another 2-minute jam.
Wow. Second one.
Yeah.
Boyd pushing his way through. Now, Boyd's a very pushy jammer, so I wonder if the aim for Capital Carnage is to just hold the pack still. Because Boyd will push his own way through.
They don't need to do too much assisting for him.
So jukey jammers are the ones that you need to go in, mess it up, create a few holes. But when you got a pushy jammer, you just need to keep the pack with you.
Keep the pack so that they can push them out to the edge of the engagement zone.
That's it. And it's kind of like an assist. It's like, we're going to assist you by staying
still.
Staying still and staying out of their way.
Rolling slowly rather than standing still.
Yes.
But yeah. Enigma pulling back 50 there. And D doing the same to Boyd, actually.
Both teams are doing really well to kind of get rid of the opportunity for the other jammer to do apex jumps.
Yeah.
They're really owning that inside line on the apex.
Absolutely.
The pack is non-existent, and there it is. All the refs had their hands in the air because they're like, have you got the pack? I haven't got the pack. Where's the pack?
Where'd the pack go?
Where did it go?
Yeah, a little bit all over the place there. Which means it's nowhere.
That's it. Shout out to some of our sponsors. We've got the Junkyard Jerks with their instant replays.
And how fabulous is that?
Oh, I love it. So Junkyard Jerks, they're from Maitland. If you're ever up that way, go and say hi. They are a really fun, loving group of people, and I do thoroughly enjoy them. They are fantastic.
We've got David Deckham jamming for Carnage and Drop Blair jamming for Scartel.
I do love that name. If you're watching from overseas and you haven't heard of a Drop Bear before, look up Drop Bear on Google. Be amazed. Be fearful. Drop Blair forcing his way and bouncing off both the opposition and his own blockers and popping himself out to the front of the pack like a pinball.
I'm getting through for 5 points.
Meantime, David Deckham, who's been phenomenal this weekend.
Oh, absolutely.
Really good.
He's still a bit caught up this time, though.
Yeah, they're just not giving him any space at all to work with. And every time he decides to change back, he's just rolling back just a dash.
And they're taking that away from him.
They are, but by doing that, every time he rolls back, if he gets any pressure coming back with him, that's going to cause a counter, and that's why we've got one of the Scartel blockers on the way to the penalty box. Drop Blair, hands in the air, getting ready to call it, and he does.
9 points for Drop Blair in that jam, bringing Scartel up to 38. And Carnage are on 47.
So we have one Scartel skater on the track. We've had Lurch number 3-4 going back onto the track because there's already 2 blockers sitting. And if there's already 2 blockers sitting, you can't have another person to come and sit. There's only 2 seats for blockers, and they have to go back onto the box until someone is standing, and that means there is a seat free for them.
And the penalty box has a little whiteboard they can hold up to say, please send that
I'm ready now.
blocker back to the penalty box.
It's like when you go to the fish and chip shop, and they go, number 34, your order is ready. Of course.
Fish and chips.
Oh, now I'm hungry. If you get 4 blockers getting sent to the box, though, there has to be 1 blocker remained on the track. Otherwise, there's no pack. So if that one skater gets knocked down, everyone has to run. Just sprint. As soon as that blocker's up standing, then both teams have to make 100... Well, every skater, actually, on the track has to fight to reform that pack as soon as possible. Otherwise, penalty is going... It's going to be like Oprah. You get a penalty, and you get a penalty, and you get a penalty.
And it's possible to have 3 blockers in the box if one is standing.
Yes.
So
Well, 2 is standing, 1 is sitting.
Yeah. Various combinations of that. You can only stand on the way out, though, not on the way in. You can't stand around waiting for a chair.
No.
In that case, you have to go back on the track.
Yeah, that's it.
Once you're requested to do so by the penalty box manager.
Just do what they tell you to.
It's simple, really.
Something about Derby being simple.
Oh,
my goodness.
it's so easy.
Let's make a list of all the things that are simple. Do as they say. No, that's pretty much it. That's
Yeah,
pretty much
yeah.
it.
Bobby Smack jamming for Carnage and his rolliness for Scartel. Bobby Smack has lead. Wearing beautiful tights.
They are wonderfully vibrant, aren't they?
They are wonderful tights.
I don't know if you can quite see it on the feed. You can when they start coming into light. There's a little bit of a dark spot in the middle of the track. Now, if they were out in the sun, if Carnage were out in the sun in their uniforms, sunglasses are mandatory.
It's a fairly bright pink.
Yes, you will be blinded by the pink. And we can't have that.
Bobby Smack got 4 points in that jam.
I think he's pretty happy. He
Yeah.
just got cuddles as he came back to the bench.
Yeah, I think everyone's happy with him there.
During the timeout, Carnage had a big deep breath in and let it out, which I think is a really nice thing. If you're at home, just take a deep breath in and let it out. And then Derby.
Oh, Astro Boy jamming for Carnage and just straight through the pack there. He's lead. And Cat Throat King also through the pack for Scartel.
You're a lot quicker to pick who's who. I always have to be like, number this.
Oh, no. I'm basically trusting the scoreboard at this point.
Oh, there you go.
Can't always trust the scoreboard. But
Okay.
on that occasion, I was pretty sure it was right.
You're pretty good. I'm like, how does she know every time without having a
I
reference?
haven't been on the stream so far this tournament, but I have already commentated 5 games, so I'm pretty familiar with everyone at this point.
You've been somewhat busy.
I've been a tiny bit busy.
A tiny bit busy.
But it's been a fabulous tournament to commentate. It was actually the first time I've been commentating, and
really?
I've had a great time.
I think you're doing swell.
Thank you very much, Pure Energy. David Deckham jamming for Carnage now, and Hank Fister, or Fisty, for Scartel.
David definitely doing a really quick entry up the inside line, just a step back, hips, fine, and off he goes.
Off he goes.
Picking up lead.
Lead jammer.
So he's picked up lead even though he got a non-pass of the switchy of the fingers. He must have regained that on the way out. So he's picked up 5 points.
Hank Fister not far behind him now, though. So, unless they're trying to get someone out of the box or something of that nature, we'll see a call-off.
And we have a ref down.
Ref down. Axiomatic. Been doing a lot of hard work this weekend. But he's fine. David Deckham's fine. As been a lot of people on the ground this weekend.
There has, but I haven't seen a ref down yet.
No, that is actually the first
That
time
was
I've seen a ref
number
down. Yeah.
And recovered brilliantly. Got a bit of a pat on the shoulder, and I am so sorry from David Deckham. He came in at speed and whoops. And Benchy Shirley seems to be quite vocal as he walks into the line saying for something. I missed it.
Oh, yes.
His rolliness, picking up the speed and running into Thuggernaut, which is no easy feat to be a survivor of.
Bobby Snack ran up the inside line then, and he is lead jammer for Carnage.
His rolliness just a dash in front.
And getting the signal from his bench. Doesn't seem to be actually looking at his bench.
No. I think he knew he was about to call it, but I think he had it in his mind he was going to run the clock.
Yeah.
But not noticing that his teammates were saying, no, call it sooner rather than later, because they really wanted to keep one of the Scartel in the penalty box to give them a bit more of an advantage. So Elvis, the Scartel skater, in the box. He's standing, and I don't think he's got long to go.
No, well, definitely less than 10 seconds.
Less than 10 seconds for Shizzle.
Standing.
For Shizzle.
Yeah, having only 3 blockers on the track may make it just that bit easier for Boyd to run past, which he has.
Drop Bear just waiting for his assist to come in, and the cavalry has arrived. Jamie Slamster just shutting off that inside option.
An unsuccessful apex jump for Drop Bear there.
That was Cliffhanger with a beautiful hit there. That was amazing.
Cliffhanger has been doing some great work this weekend.
He's been phenomenal. And I love this about some skaters, is they just put themselves in the perfect line that's what the jammer wants to do. The jammer wants to go into that spot. And if they're not going to run away, they're just going to plop themselves right there.
Yeah.
Smack bang.
Absolutely. And that's not fun for the jammer.
No, it's not a great time. It's one of the worst things when you're like, you know what I want. Yeah. We've got an empty penalty box and a full complement of blockers and jammers on the track for this jam. How exciting is that? So sanitary.
It's been a little bit of a rarity this weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, David Deckham just straight through on the inside line, taking lead for Carnage.
And about a half a lap behind Scartel's jammer.
Cutthroat King.
See, I just looked at the board then. I've figured out your tricks and tips.
Well, no, in that case, I could see his armband and I knew his number.
See, I can't remember what I had for breakfast, let alone trying to remember every skater from yesterday.
I think it's the upside of doing a lot of NSOing is getting used to looking at numbers and working out who's who. I don't know.
The closest thing I come to keeping track of numbers when I play Sudoku, and there's only 9 numbers. Any more than that, I'm out. I am out. We've got a blocker apiece in the penalty box.
Bobby Snack sneaking up the outside line, and he is lead jammer for Carnage. Not sure who we've got for Scartel. Oh, it's Hank Pfister again. He's been recycled by Copter, but just jumps over Copter's legs, which is no mean feat because Copter has quite a lot of leg on him.
He definitely has a height advantage a lot of the time. Ooh, Copter being a little bit risky there as he skated off to the penalty box in anti-derby. Didn't quite leave the track as quick as he probably should have.
Yeah, that's something else that I'm not sure everyone realises, that can give you an id-sub if you just skate kind of diagonally off the track instead of straight off at a right angle. You can actually get called for an in-sub for that.
That's right. And the refs have been on that this weekend. They have really been on it.
Yeah.
Something we do here in Sydney, and we do a couple of other leagues that are fairly local, is we start a fund to buy our officials and referees a drink at the after party. Because we appreciate that it's not an easy feat to put up with us.
Oh, it is a difficult job.
And we want them to come back. And if that means it's just for the free drinks, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
His rolliness is lead jammer for Scartel and has already had a 5-point pass. And coming up to the pack again now. Boyd is just through the pack. on his initial pass.
Oh, doggy pile at the end of turn 2.
Oh, I'm wondering if there's a bit of a slippery patch there.
Oh, there is now, that's for sure.
Yeah, that man sweat all over the track will do it every time.
They're going to need some spit shine over there to get rid of that stuff.
Boyd looking for a bit of jammer on jammer action
I
and
love
gets it.
Yee.
Fist is passed again. Oh, calling it off. Having hit a pretty solid Carnage wall there.
Jamie Slamster just went and just dropped all of his weight into his left skate and just dropped a shoulder as well. Dead wall.
Yep, no getting through that.
And I wouldn't even want to run into that.
No. Well, you know.
I mean, I don't have that much experience running into brick walls, but I'm pretty sure it'd be pretty similar.
Well, Fisty pretty much bounced off it then and onto the ground, so.
And was quite happy to call it off from down there.
Yeah, I'll just call it off now, I reckon. Well, we've got a timeout. It's an official review, actually, for Scartel. So we'll have to go quiet in a little minute when the head ref picks up his mic. Not sure what that's going to be a review on.
No. Mind you, there's 7 minutes left in this half. It could be a good time just to have a chill out and a rest in May as well.
Well, they've still got 2 timeouts though, so yeah.
Maybe they're trying to get someone out of the box.
Maybe they're trying to get someone in the box.
Ooh, party in the box.
Yeah.
Lots of cheering going on. I loves it. So once again, if you have anything to let us know, how are you going? How's your day? Who are you going for? Who do you reckon looks better in pink? Hashtag MRDADU. MRDADU. That's a hashtag on, you can tweet us. tweet us.
Tweet. On the tweeters.
Let us know your feels. What do you reckon of the weekend? Who's your favourite? Which colour do you reckon is most complementary to the skin tones?
I have a feeling that ThunderQuads might be quite the favourite overall this weekend.
Yes.
We love them for coming, of course, to Australia because it means that the MRDA teams here can get global rankings.
Yes.
They basically don't have them at the moment from not playing international teams.
Yes, they could be totes of fish.
Totes of fish.
Totes of fish.
And of course, Carnage, who are playing now, only officially became MRDA members on Thursday of this week.
Man, that is cutting it fine.
Yeah, but isn't it fantastic to see more and more teams of the men's teams? Because there are a number of other men's teams in Australia, of course. Smash was the first MRDA team in March 2015, I think, and then Scartel in July of that year. And that was after New York Stock Exchange came out in January of that year for the same reason.
Yeah,
to enable some of the MRDA teams here, well, enable teams to become MRDA teams by playing other MRDA teams.
Yeah, that was a really good tournament.
That was fantastic.
It was so much fun.
That's a fun group of skaters, and in fact, the fancy tights that Bobby Smack is wearing are also worn by Slammy Dangerfield of New York Stock Exchange.
I am not surprised by this whatsoever.
That fantastic fluoro camouflage pattern.
So wonderfully vibrant.
I'm not sure if I can mention who makes them on the...
No, but if you want to know, just drop us a line. We'll tell you. We'll tell you. I'm just having a look at some of the player profiles here that Carnage have handed us. And team captain Copter has been in 2 Wizards of Oz World Cup squads in 2014 and 2016.
Not surprising. He's quite a phenomenal blocker.
And I'm sure that we will find out what that official review was in a moment, and we will relay that up. Oh, here we go.
Red Team BCR were calling for a review on a cut track by the pink jammer. In this case, a penalty has not been issued.
That was a really quick response for a long discussion. Lots of powwows.
So Scartel have lost their official review for this half on that.
And they're starting down 1 blocker off the start. Really big squeeze then. The arms of Cliffhanger and Thuggernaut being combined just really locked off that outside option for Scartel, leaving David Deckham in the perfect opportunity to get through, pick up all 4 points of the blockers and calling it off just before Scartel popped through there for some points. That was That was a really nice apex. That's the second one I've seen where the skater has landed, and as they've landed, then run into a skater very close. There has been one instance that it looked so close. I was saying one thing, someone else thought the other, and I'm like, oh, I don't know.
Got to be very careful with those apex jumps,
Yes,
of
'cause
course,
if-
not to land into a opposition skater.
Land into or on.
On. Not meant to contact anyone when you're in the air, of course.
No.
That would be pretty much an
No,
immediate expulsion.
Oh, yes, I'm well aware of that. One of my first tournaments, that was one of my games. I just got too excited.
Yeah, it's best to keep one foot on the ground, as with many things.
Yes, yes.
Bobby Smack jamming for Carnage.
And Cutthroat King for Scartel, both really struggling to get through the respective 3 walls.
Yeah. Leo Slayer bridging for Carnage.
There's a lot of bridging going on.
Yeah. Got bridging to be on the safe side. Why not?
They built a bridge, and they got over it.
Got over it. Nearly. Well, Cutthroat King got over it.
Yeah.
He is now lead jammer. Bobby Smack still pushing. Scartel doing some great resets up there. This would be a point where it would be good if Carnage could hold back at the back. But
Definitely. Or maybe chucking in a bit of an assist.
Yeah, they've sent a pivot back to cause a bit of chaos amongst the Scartel
Bit of
there.
chaos, and I think they're trying to see if they can get a star pass. Oh, is that going to be a cut? Yes. It's all about the hips, not the feet. That's the thing that you have to keep remembering when you're re-entering the track so that you don't get a cut track. It's your hips that's the point that you must be behind, not your legs, not your feet.
And it's another thing where you've got to be careful that your perspective on it isn't, you're not diagonaling in on the track and you're actually coming in too early. You need to make sure you're square coming back into the track. So you've got the same perspective as the refs on the inside, because they're the ones who decide. So we've got 12 points for Scartel in that jam, 79 points for Carnage overall, and 60 for Scartel. Still a very close game.
Yeah.
With only less than 5 minutes left in period 1.
And we've got the penalties coming up here. The most stylish team, you reckon? That was the hashtag up on the screen.
Oh.
So penalties, we're looking at Elvis sitting on 3, Lurch sitting on 4. I was going to read his number 34, and I'm like, that is a lot of penalties. Then we got
Tropstar on 3.
It's not too bad.
Not too bad.
Not too bad at all.
Scatter of penalties there. No one too close to fouling out at this point.
No, nothing too far to a hazard. But if you're sitting on 4 and you're in the first half still, you've got to calm your farm just a dash.
And there we have the Carnage penalties. Thuggernaut Cliffhanger on 2, Astro Boyd on 2, Enigma on 2, a couple of people on 1. Oh, Leo Slayer just got a pack destruction added. Oh, and a back block.
They're updating as we're looking at. Holy mackerel, all these things are flashing up on the screen. We've got a bunny at the back in Copter, but Copter won't stand to be that very long.
Not sure I'd choose him as my bunny if I was in that back wall. And Hank Fister is lead jammer for Scartel. Cliffhanger off to the penalty box. That was I thought it was a pack destruction, but I'm not sure what happened there.
No.
Bobby Smack has had the helmet cover in his hand and he's about to put it back on his head now that he's through the pack. Of course, holding the helmet cover in your hand is a way of possibly confusing the blockers from the other team, splitting their attention, at least between you and the pivot.
Well, that's it. When you take the star off, they're looking for, if they're a pivot, but when they look back, I don't know about you, but I very rarely remember who the heck I'm meant to be blocking. If the star's not on the helmet, someone needs to remind me.
Yeah, absolutely. So it can cause several different types of misdirection there and of course, you may just run for it when everyone's standing around going, oh, where's the pivot? Who's the jammer? Gives you a chance to sneak past.
Beautiful squeeze there by Scartel, but Thuggernaut just popping his booty right in the way.
Yeah.
Thuggernaut's been amazing this weekend too.
Thuggernaut has been amazing.
Or as he's affectionately known as Huggernaut.
Oh,
Isn't that good?
that's
Adorable?
gorgeous. Look, Boyd has lead jammer for Carnage.
And has probably
His
a
rolling
third of the
is
lap.
not far behind. Sorry.
Oh, you're right. Got a third of a lap, getting a couple of points. Did we get 2 or 1? They're just checking, having a bit of a powwow.
Sometimes the refs need a bit of help amongst themselves to
Boyd's
count.
thinking 2.
You wouldn't think it would be hard to count to 5, but you know.
Well, the thing is, when people are moving around a lot, it's like, did you already pass? No, wait.
Yeah.
I don't envy their job.
Was that? No, it's a really difficult thing.
Mm-hmm. I've been asked to jam ref once, and I went, I can't count. And they went, what do you mean? I'm like, I can't do that. I can do pack definitions, and that's about it.
Drop Blair jamming for Scartel in this jam, and I think it's David Deckham.
Yes, it is. David Deckham, he has a very distinct style of skating and also a very distinct facial expression, and I can usually pick it from that.
I don't think I've actually noticed the facial expression.
Oh, you'll have to notice.
I'll be watching it now.
Every jammer, when they first get through the pack, they pull a face. There's some that have like resting faces, and some people have the I need to get out of here in a hurry face. And I thoroughly enjoy it so much.
David Deckham calling off the jam after scoring 4 points then, because Drop Blair was fast approaching the point scoring area of the track, which is where all the blockers are.
Carnage have been doing a really good job waterfalling and resetting back in front of the jammers constantly. It's been really nice to see.
Got an official timeout, I think, here. The officials possibly taking some time to just reconcile scores, penalties, that kind of thing.
I think there was a markup on the scoreboard that just had, instead of a circle, Scartel had a little plus sign kicking in there.
Yeah, that happens sometimes after there's been an official review. Scoreboard is another tricky job.
Again, I do not envy it.
Way too many buttons on that thing.
No, I still have an iRiver. Do you remember those? They were before iPods.
No.
I'm still running off that little beast. I love it.
Both jammers, Bobby Smack for Carnage and Cutthroat King for Scartel, being solidly held behind 3 walls at the moment. Oh no. Yeah.
Oh, a couple of, I think, multiplayers being called up there.
Yeah, Blacktooth Grinner being sent to the penalty box, I think.
Oh no, forearms. Both jammers free of the pack. Carnage with the lead with Bobby Smack.
But only about a quarter of a track in front of Cutthroat King, so
It's really
he's going to
hard
have
to
to hit
judge.
and quit.
Isn't it
Yeah.
hard to judge? They're still moving. You feel like being like, guys, can you just stand still for a second?
Yeah.
Just so I can tell everyone else where you're
and
at?
if you could possibly stand on one of the 10-foot marks on the track, that would make it particularly
yes,
easy.
That would be good.
Yep.
That would be fantastic. Man, skaters are so inconvenient, aren't
I
they?
know, so inconsiderate. Don't they know how hard it is to commentate?
It is hard work.
I am exhausted already.
The problem is my mouth goes faster than my brain.
I think I'm the other way around. Oh, we've hit intermission.
So Carnage sitting on 88, Scartel sitting on 64. We'll be back in approximately 10 minutes' time, so don't change your dial. I'm Pure Energy.
And I'm Biffy Miffy.
And this is Roller Derby, and we can't wait to have you back in a moment. welcome back. We got 23, 22, 21 seconds till we start off again. Sorry for my delay. I was dancing to Bohemian Rhapsody during my Aussie Rite, I believe.
Yes, and I guess that's why you're a little bit breathless. Energy.
Yes. Yes, but
or is it the derby that's making you a little bit breathless?
It's all of the above. All of them.
We have Boyd jamming for Carnage this time, and I believe that's his rolliness jamming for Scartel.
All right, so we have Astro Boy jamming for Capital Carnage, sitting on 88 at the moment. Scartel on 64. His rolliness jamming for Scartel. And it's his rolliness. His rolliness or Vic?
It's his rolliness.
It's his rolliness. Rolliness is out with lead jammer status for Scartel. And Scartel with a power jam. Boyd picking up a illegal procedure. Or misconduct. Can't quite see which one that one was. But he did something naughty and he had to do the time.
And that's what he's doing now.
Counts to 30 slowly. Out of play at the front. They've got a bunny at the back. His rolliness coming up, hitting the pack of 3. Hitting quite a nice little legal hit there. I think that's Beelzebub holding him in there as well, just making sure he stays behind the blockers.
Boyd back on track now. Just holding the helmet cover, as often happens when people come out of the box in case they need to do a star pass, but he hasn't. He's through the pack. He has the star back on his head, which means he can score points. Well, he would have been able to had not his rolliness. Was it his rolliness? Yes. Called off the jam.
You know what I love? After the first jam, all the skaters go back to the benches and they forget that they've changed benches at halftime.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of confusion.
It was both teams just going and then going, "You're not my people."
You're my friends. I don't like your clothing.
Yeah, that's it. So all the tweets coming up on the screen. Wonderful to see them coming flying through. Hashtag MRDADU on Twitter. Shoot them through and you too can be semi-famous and have your things up on the screen.
David Deckham nearly threw on the inside then, but got knocked out. And meanwhile, Drop Blair got through to be lead. Oh, beg your pardon. David Deckham did get lead jammer then. Both of them stuck back in the pack again now, though. Oh, and there's been a star pass for Carnage.
Woo-woo.
It looks like
Slamster.
Jamie Slamster now jamming for Carnage. Wearing 2 helmet covers.
Why have one when you can have 2? What a bargain.
Why just be pivot when you can be pivot and jammer?
That's it. Now that should be a 5-4.
It's a 4-point pass according to Izzy for real. Jam ref.
I think he is for reals.
I think he is for real. He's certainly for real as a ref. Oh, a beautiful bit of footwork on the line there from Jamie.
Yeah, on the toes and go, go, go.
Go, go.
My theory is if people want to be really good on their toe stops, they should just run in heels. Because it's pretty much the same thing.
Bouncing off the Scartel wall there, though. I think that might be cliffhanger. Beg your pardon. That's Tropstar that's causing the problems there. Oh, and Jamie Slamister off to the box now. So Drop Blair now in the position to pick up some points with some help of his blockers.
Drop Blair being a very powerful jammer this whole weekend, doing a great job out there.
And he did pick up another 5 points there.
just going to turn you down a little bit so you speak louder.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Just someone fiddling with my mic a bit there.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Oh, and the scores are even, and getting a big thumbs up from FTP, who controls everything. In
He's
Down
the
Under
main man on the
Dirty
decks.
TV, bringing all these amazing games to you. With
Should we call him DJ FTP?
DJ FTP. Cutthroat King jamming for Scartel. Boyd, no. Who is jamming for Carnage? Someone who's in the box, Jammy Slamister. So a power jam for Scartel at this point, but Jammy Slamister just coming back onto the track now. Boyd doing a good job of holding the Scartel jammer at the front there with the help of...
There's a lot of chest blocking and a lot of heat-seeking butts.
But not always the most effective way to block, but it's working for them, or was working for them then.
If there's some of you that have no idea what we're talking about when we're talking about heat-seeking butts, it's when you turn sideways on the track, you stick your booty out like you're doing a twerk, and you just kind of don't quite cover the line. It's not as quick, it's not as effective.
And you're in a less stable position in terms of holding the jammer back.
There's definitely a time and a place for everything, I think.
Oh, absolutely. And if that's the only way you can get there, it's still,
Do it.
worth being there.
Yeah.
Better than nothing.
That's it.
Bobby Smack is back on Bobby Smack in his amazing tights. They're back on the jammer line for Carnage and Hank Fister for Scartel, but we're having a team timeout. Carnage have called that team timeout.
We've got the penalty board up in front of us, and we've got Thuggernaut, Cliffhanger, and Astro Boyd still on 3. I think they were on 3 before. So not too much different there. Pension check, no penalties. None.
It's nice to see.
And then we're sitting at Scartel. They've got Lurch on 5. He's ballooned out from
Getting
there.
into the danger zone a little bit there.
Yeah, Tropstar not too far behind on 4, and Elvis on 3. So not too bad across the board.
No.
We've still got 23 minutes to go, though.
And interesting, like drop there has no penalties, which jammers often pick up penalties fairly easily because of track cuts and things like that. But he's doing well. Score at the moment, 97 to Carnage, 101 to Scartel. And the end of that team timeout has now been called. Everyone preparing again for the jam whistle. Just in case you can't hear the house music, Energy is singing along into her microphone.
I love it.
It's beautiful.
Whenever I have a microphone in my face, I just feel like it's a night at karaoke.
It's karaoke.
Yep, that's it.
Let's do it. Bobby Smack well caught behind the Scartel wall there, and actually Hank Fister pretty much caught up behind the Carnage wall at the front.
There's been a couple of instances where I thought Fisty was just going to pop on through and just got held at that last second. That's something Carnage are doing fantastically well the whole time.
They really are. Bobby Smack through that now for lead jammer for Carnage, and Hank Fister also through, and maybe quarter of a track behind, maybe a third. So we're seeing the call off pretty quickly there. Bobby got 2 points in that jam. No points for Scartel in that one.
So shout out to the Junkyard Jerks, one of our sponsors for this weekend, the whole weekend. They're sponsoring the replays as well. So every time you see a replay, you'll see their little logo pop up on the left. Fantastic group of people. They're from Maitland. Drop them a line, say g'day. Why not? Better bearings? Well, you know what? Why have good bearings when you can have better ones?
Better bearings are always better. And also Skate Projects is another sponsor for this weekend, and that's a fantastic place to get your booty shorts and your tights and your Oh, all sorts of things. Ref tops.
All your derby things.
All your derby things.
David Deckham, he's doing pretty damn fine right now. He just flew up the inside line with a trip, but just kept going, picking up a not only just lead, but also a power jam. Woo, woo, woo.
And he's got through for 5 points and approaching the pack again.
Yeah. Copter just running and taking out. Who's that? Lurch. That's a long way to fall down. Like with a name like Lurch, you can't be short. You can't be a little guy.
No. Although in Australia, that ironic nickname thing.
Oh, yeah. True. That is a thing. Bluey.
Bluey.
For a ginge.
Shorty.
Well, it depends. Shorty's usually very short.
Or a bit
huge.
tall.
Yeah. One of my mates who skates, previously used to skate out at Western Sydney. Her nickname was Tiny. She was about 6'7".
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's Australian for tiny.
That is. Exactly.
Okay, Carnage picking up, I think actually 13 points in total, maybe 14 in that jam. 14. And
if you're curious with the point scoring, how many points were called in that previous jam, if you look on your scoreboard on the screen, next to Carnage's 113, there's a little number 14. That's for the jam. Next to that, you'll see a whole heap of dots. There'll be 2 dots at the top. They're timeouts. The ones at the bottom, which aren't coming up in here, but the 2 timeouts are at the top.
Boyd jamming for Carnage and
Drop
Blair for Scartel. Boyd's through with lead jammer. And now Drop Blair's through as well, about half a track behind.
A lot of penalties in the last few minutes. That'll be something they'll have to keep an eye on because there's still 20 minutes to go.
Pulled off there without any points being scored, I believe.
Here's a replay on show. You see Sheriff fighting his way around the outside and then just forcing a gap on the inside line by hitting out a blocker. That's my favorite jamming. When a jammer just goes, you know what? I can't see any holes. I'm going to make some.
Yeah, why find holes when you can make them?
Cutthroat King hoping to follow Carnage's jammer through the inside. Creates a bit of a gap and goes for it anyway, picking up lead for Scartel. This is a very close game. I don't know if I was expecting this. This is fantastic.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing.
Last game of the weekend, though. They'd be feeling it.
Yeah, I think everyone's very tired. Pretty sure the refs are pretty tired at this point.
Oh, yeah.
And the non-skating officials, for that matter. Feeling a little bit weary myself, but
only one more day of work.
And then
we got Anzac Day.
Yeah.
So go down to your pub, pay your respects, have a beer, play some
nap.
2-up, and then a nap.
Oh, that too.
And then
okay.
a nap. If you have no idea what 2-up is, you're going to have to look it out because I can't explain it to you right now.
So Bobby Smack not yet through the pack, I believe, and also being sent for a track cut. So power jam for Cutthroat King now.
Big assist coming through the inside. And Enigma just kind of shut down the quick assist and just kind of separated the assist, which I think was really cool. Really strong wall protecting going on.
Yeah, beautiful work there. Cutthroat King calling it off. Bobby Smack still in the box. Although he's standing, so less than 10 seconds from being released.
Yeah, I saw something really cool when I was down in Victoria a little while ago. Sometimes the jammer, or whoever it is in the blocker, if the other team is about to call it and they see they've got an advantage, what they'll do is they'll stand in the box, serve their 10 seconds, and they won't leave the box. So when the other jammer calls it off, they just walk out. They're like, oh, okay, you thought you got an advantage? No. Because they don't have to leave the box when they're told. You can linger.
Really?
Yeah. There's a lot of these box kind of things you can muck around with. You can have 1 foot out of the penalty box when you're told to stand and still remain in the penalty box as long as you got 1 foot down.
I certainly knew about that, and I know that you certainly can't pretend that you're still sitting when you're told to stand. You have to stand fully upright. So you can't try and trick the other team like that. But I did not know that about not leaving the penalty box when you're told.
Yeah. Because there's no disadvantage because they're still not on the track and they're still down one. It's one of those funny ones.
Bobby Smack back in the penalty box now. So power jam again for Scartel and his rolliness, who is getting through fairly easily at the moment. 10 points so far this jam, halfway through the 2 minutes. But knocked out then and pulled back by Copter, and
That's unlike Copter.
oh,
Hitting people out and recycling them all the way to the back. That's not
and
Copter.
happened again then with Jamie Slamister doing the hitting out that time.
Yeah.
So Cutthroat King through the pack now for 5 points.
30 seconds left on this jam. Both teams just recycling really quickly. Carnage not resetting quite as fast.
Oh,
And we're going to call this one off. So we've got the medics going in there to have a bit of a check-in. In the meantime, I'm going to tell you about some of the Capital Carnage skaters. I'm just seeing if they've got their heights in here because some of them are really, really tall. So let's have a bit of a look. No, I don't have their height, but I'll tell you a little bit about Vice Captain Beelzebub. He's 35 years old, started derby in 2014, which I think is really, really, really cool. He used to blade when he was 12. but
well,
only
he
for about
once bladed for 20 minutes when
20
he was
minutes.
12.
No,
So
he used to be a
not
blader.
a huge blading career, but
be blader.
apparently an effective one.
But also plays basketball league and union. A league union cross. There you go.
Wow.
And he would love to play in Team Australia one day. That's the aim. So that'll be pretty cool.
What about Bobby Smack?
Bobby Smack, he's 44, started also in 2014, a lot in 2014. I'm flicking through the pages and there's a few in there from that long ago.
2014 was a very good year, apparently.
So the hashtag for if you want to tweet us is hashtag MRDADU. Drop us a line, give us a holler, say hello.
Hank Pfister for Scartel still held behind the pack. David Deckham through for 5 points. And Hank Pfister is out of the pack now. And unfortunately, David Deckham is going to the box for a high block. So it will now be a power jam for Hank Pfister for Scartel. Carnage blocker heading to the box. Beelzebub. Beelzebub's been doing some very effective jamming. Blocking
Yeah.
this tournament.
Beelzebub's actually not a bad jammer at the same time, though. Jamie Slamster doing a slow motion tap out at the front of the pack.
Hank Pfister finding himself pulled right back.
Oh, Jamie trying to get a cut track called as he jumped the apex backwards to try and keep his spot. Oh, beautiful.
Lovely feint by David Deckham there.
Oh, that was amazing. I loved it. He got really low. Maybe he's picked something up from the ThunderQuads.
Maybe. Certainly an effective way to skate.
Oh, yeah. For shizzle. For shizzle manizzle.
4 points for David Deckham on that pass. And the jam ending with Carnage getting 13 points and Scartel getting 14. I think this is just going to keep being a pretty close game.
Oh, yeah. There's a Junkyard Jerks replay. I do love these replays. They're so
It's
good.
fabulous.
Thank you to Junkyard Jerks, making that available for us and the people playing at home. We got Boyd jamming for Capital Carnage.
And drop Blair for Scartel.
Drop Blair seems to be challenging the sides.
Boyd straight through on the inside. Lead jammer.
Yep.
And drop Blair out of the pack now too, about half a track behind.
The pack's really picking up some major speed at the moment. He calls it off. We got one guy on the deck. Oh, he's up. He's fine. He's all good.
It's all good.
It's all gravy, baby. Capital Carnage sitting on 1-2-8. Scartel on 1-4-1.
We've got just under half of period 2 left to play here.
And we got the penalty board up. We've got Thuggernaut sitting on 4. Astro Boyd on 4. Cliffhanger, Copter, Bobby Smack, and David Deckham sitting on 3. I haven't noticed David Deckham going to the box that much, so there you go.
Yeah, a few 2s and 1s there as well. Nothing too serious there at the moment.
No.
And now the penalty board for Scartel. Lurch still sitting on 5, which he has been for some time. 4 penalties for Tropstar at the moment. 3 each for Elvis, Blacktooth Grinner, Gallagher, and that's all, yes. And then a couple again with 2s and 1s. So Lurch really the only one.
But he's been playing pretty safe
Well,
on that 5
yeah.
pretty much this whole half so far.
Yeah, really keeping it calm, I think.
So keep up the good work. Keep it sanitary.
Well done, yes.
A lot of forearms, actually. A lot of forearms in there.
Yeah, forearms and a couple of elbows as well.
Yes.
Stop using your arms, guys.
That's one thing I've always wondered. With the forearms and the elbows, why don't they just change it to an arm penalty? Because to me, a forearms and an elbow, they're so close together and they look so similar when they're being done.
Well, there's also the elbow now is very much point of the elbow. If you use the point of your elbow to impact, touch another player, basically contact another player, there's no impact spectrum on that now.
No.
It's a penalty if you do it.
A thing is a thing.
A thing is a thing, and saying point of the knee. So forearm's a bit different. Forearm is if you actually impact the player or impact the game with your use of the forearm.
Yeah.
Elbow is straight up, don't use the point of your elbow.
That's it. Just don't.
Don't. Because it's dangerous. You could hurt someone.
Cutthroat King, lead jammer, and on a power jam. Astro Boy just standing in the penalty box now. I think something that Scartel are doing superior to Carnage is they're getting bunnies regularly and slowing down the play.
Pack. Yeah. Well, and that means in general you'll have pack if you do that.
Yep. So
And
pack
also
is a beautiful thing.
An easy point for your jammer coming past.
Yeah. Jammers are jammers for a reason. It's because they are capable of doing stuff by themselves. But why not help them do that?
If you can help them, it's just makes everything a bit easier for everyone.
If you can make anyone's life easier and it's not going to be too far out of your way, why not do it?
Why not do it?
My favorite thing is if I'm going through drive-through and I'm feeling really generous is to buy the guy behind me their food. I go, what are they getting? And if they're getting anything, like I put in a bracket of if they're buying something less than $10, I'll pay for it. Not every time, but if I'm feeling a little bit generous.
That's beautiful energy.
Yeah, the problem is, though, I want to get out of there before they drive past me because I'm too embarrassed to show my face after. I'm like, oh, God.
That's very sweet.
It's kind of like with the toll booths. I used to do that at toll booths. But now they don't have them all anymore because
No.
they're all E-tags. Both jammers firing out of the track, but Scartel would lead even though David Deckham is in front. This is interesting that they've decided to run the clock. Scartel chose to run the clock then, but there's only one blocker from Carnage in there. So you'd think that they might call it off quick so that they can
Have
keep
the
that
pack advantage.
Yeah, keep the
for
blocker
the start
in
of the
there.
next jam. But I guess when you're ahead on points and a good 21 points ahead, anything you can do to run the clock down.
Yeah. I mean, it's a really tricky one, isn't it?
It is.
Because you're probably more likely to get lead if one less blocker on the track. But if you want to run the clock, we've still got 10 minutes. It's still a long
Out of time. Anything could happen.
Yeah, I'd be going for points more than time at this stage.
I mean, we haven't seen too many big scoring jams in
No.
this game. In this tournament, we have seen some enormous scoring jams.
Yeah, it's been toit.
But here, it's mostly chipping away, which is often how derby happens, especially when it's close.
And that's happening again. We got a 5-point, but Boyd's just busted out.
So, yeah, it's likely that Scartel will want to just call it off before Boyd scores any points rather than... Yeah, and there we go. There's the call-off. That's a strategic thing. If you can get 4 points, or in this case 6 points, and no points to the other team, then that's the way to do it.
That's it.
Chip away. And we're getting a junkyard. Oh, no, we're not. Thought we were going to get a replay
It's
there.
a teaser. It's a teaser. It just
teaser.
kicks you on your toes. So shout out to Better Bearings and Skate Projects. You guys are tops.
Yeah, got to love a sponsor. That's how all this stuff happens.
Well, that's how people can see it at home.
That's exactly right.
So Bobby Smack fighting his way at the back of the pack. In the meantime, we've got Cutthroat King fighting his way through the front of the pack. Is it Cutthroat King? It is.
It is indeed. Also a shout out to the refs
Yes.
and officials.
Lovely refs. I'm getting attacked by stamps from behind. They've got all of these little flowers on me. What does it say? Oh, it says beautiful.
Ah, perfect.
That's what I needed to hear.
And Carnage, Bobby Smacks has lead jammer.
It took a minute to get a jammer out then.
Yeah.
1 whole minute.
That is hard work.
Yeah. So now we're into the last 7 minutes of the game. This is when that endurance training really comes into it. You need to stay clean. The penalties are starting to get up there. You need to stay particularly sanitary. You need to stay nice and calm. And you need to keep pushing.
Pushing. Yeah, it's pretty hard this end of the game and also this end of the tournament, of course. These guys have played 3 games already.
Yeah.
And it's particularly hard when you're tired to make sure that you're doing everything perfectly right. Cutthroat King through there.
So that's the initial pass for Cutthroat King.
And Bobby Smack calling it off well before Cutthroat
Yeah.
King
I wonder
got
how many
towards scoring a
points
point.
Bobby got. He got 2, 3.
I think that might just be one.
Oh no, 2.
2.
We got 2 points. By that stage, I think if you're fighting that long and looking at that scoreboard, I'd go, you know what? Start afresh, fresh legs. We've got
Yeah.
to keep this going.
Oh, absolutely.
Got to keep the points of the momentum going. Now, what I wonder if Scartel will do, they'll wait the whole 30 seconds, then they'll call their timeout and just sucker that time in as much as possible. There we go. So we got 6.5 minutes to go in this game. Carnage sitting at 130 and Scartel sitting at 155. We got a replay. What's going on here? So Bean Copter has hit out the jammer and taken them all the way to the very back of the pack. In the meantime, I think that was Bobby Smack who cleared the pack then.
Yeah. So this timeout might be just to Carnage had started getting lead a few times then, and Scartel might just be trying to disrupt that run by calling a timeout at this point. And we've got the penalty board up again for Carnage. Astro Boyd is now on 5 penalties, so he needs to be careful in the last 6.5 minutes of the game. 4 penalties for Thuggernoit, Cliffhanger, 3 for Jamie Slamister, Copter, Bobby Smack, and David Deckham. A couple of 2s and 1s there as well. So probably everyone will be okay in this game, but you never know.
I reckon. But you never know. A penalty spiral can come out of nowhere. Sometimes.
And, sometimes someone gets a little upset and then they get an in-sub at the same time.
They get totes and mosh. So David Deckham jamming for Capital Carnage, and he's quick around the outside, just go.
Just onto the toe stops and off he went. Yep. And who have we got? His Rolliness.
His Rolliness coming up. So this should be a very quick scoring pass. You need to go, and then call it.
Hit and quit. And there we have it.
I feel like David Deckham was going to really go through there really fast and just found one of his own skaters right in the middle of the path and went, oh, hey, mate, I need to go.
Excuse me, friend.
Excuse me, I just need to squeeze on through
I'm
here.
pretty sure that's how it would have been said.
Yeah, exactly. Excuse me, I just need to squeeze on
Excuse
through.
me.
You mind? That just reminds me when you're walking through crowds and you're just gently touching on people's back and be like, excuse me. Sorry, excuse.
Yeah. That's one way of doing it.
But then if it's a mosh pit, you go full derby style, you're dropping shoulders, and that's when elbows come out to play.
There's no elbows penalty in the mosh pit.
That's it. Astro Boyd forcing his way up the inside line, picking up lead. This is exactly the Carnage that we are used to seeing, where the brute force is just charging them through. Boyd coming up hard now. He needs to be super clean here.
Drop Blair still caught behind a 3-wall of, I don't know, not anymore.
Here we go.
He is out of the pack.
It's through. Quick call off.
Quick call off. Another 4 points. So just had a little photo up with some of the ThunderQuads.
Oh, we're going to be famous.
Famous.
Woo. Speaking of which, if you want to be famous, hashtag MRDADU. Get your tweets on before the end of the game. David Deckham weaving his way through. He picks up lead, went all the way to the end, all the way to the out, and just charged it. Copter forcing the jammer to come to the very back of the pack and going again. David Deckham gets a beautiful hit to the outside. I reckon the replay of that would look very impressive.
Yeah, very nice.
Yes. David Deckham just weaving in. I'd be calling it. You want to get as much track time as possible. You got 4 minutes, so we got possibly 2 jams in there.
Copter on the ground, but he's okay.
It's just a long way down.
It's a
for
long
some
way
of
to
these taller
fall.
guys.
Yeah.
Like when I hit the deck, it's like a 2 centimeter drop. It's really not that far.
I'm a little bit the same.
Yeah. I feel like when one of the tall guys are falling, but they're trying to save themselves, but they're going to go.
Yeah.
You just feel like yelling, timber, or just go, just let it happen. It's going to happen.
Go
just
floppy. Go floppy.
Yeah.
Pick a side.
Be limp. Chillax.
Boyd up again jamming for Carnage and his rolliness for Scartel.
And it's a 3-on-3 blocker. Dealio.
One each of the in the bin at the moment.
He's rolling this out with lead. Now, I think they're going to try and run the clock. They're going to get the points. They're going to try and run the clock.
Blacktooth Grinner recycling Boyd there. But Boyd's out as well at this point. And J-Dam out of the penalty box.
Are they going to call it quick? Gets tapped out at the last second. Calls it off. Any points? No.
No points for Carnage in that.
Mind you, the bench was getting wonderfully vocal then when they didn't think he was going to hear him. Everyone started yelling.
Call it. 143 to Carnage and 158 to Scartel at this point.
Oh, it's tight. It's tight. It's very
It's so tight. This is pretty much the tightest game we've seen, I feel.
I think it possibly is. I think you're right.
So a great game to finish this great tournament with.
Deckham going between butts and bodies there, trying to squeeze his way through to get a lead. But it's Scartel with lead. And they're going to hold. They're really going to hold it. If Scartel can lock this down, that might be the game. But David Deckham, whoa, dodging feet, getting out of the pack. He's going to be on the chase now.
He's going to force a call off here. And yeah,
All right.
Drop Blair calling it off
And
after a scoring pass of 4. Then maintaining your lead 4 points at a time is as good as
yeah.
a 30-point power jam. Don't need it.
Yep.
Just keep popping a few points on.
Now Scartel get lead. I think they're going to try and not call it at all. Count the points, play it safe, and if there's any risk of giving anything away, call it. And hopefully, if they're lucky, Carnage won't use an official review to survive. Oh, did Boyd pick up lead then, though?
No, I don't believe he did.
Oh, that would have been close.
Just knocked out.
I've got a couple of bodies in front of me, so I couldn't quite see if his foot went down, because otherwise I think he would have had lead.
Yeah, no, is he for real not pointing at him? And Cutthroat King, is lead jammer for Scartel.
Oh, power jam. Here we go.
Yeah.
So Scartel are probably not going to call it.
No.
I'm putting money on it.
Yeah, I would say not. Boyd called for a forearm penalty there.
Oh, forearms. I thought the skater that got a multiplayer, because it looked like a delayed call, but I might be wrong. It was on the other side of the track from where we're sitting. Now, this is interesting. The other jam is standing, and they're not going to fight through. And he's got time on the track, so I think Boyd's going to run. If I was going to be Carnage, I'd be skating backwards at this stage. And that's it.
That's the game.
That was a really slow end.
A little bit of a sort of anticlimactic end, but a strategic end. And you've got to love the strategy that we see in Derby these days.
They've got to have some sort of energy for the after party.
This is true. Why burn yourself out on that last jam when there's beer to be had?
There is beer and wedges, and some really nice wedges.
Possibly some dancing. I don't know.
Well, I'll be dancing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure you will be.
I might be dancing on my own. Never know. And that was the final whistle. Final score is Capital Carnage all the way from Canberra, which isn't that far. It's just a couple of hours. 1-4-3.
And Scartel, who are all the way from Brisbane, which is quite a distance, they won the game with 166.
Wonderful game.
A wonderful game, a tight game for most of it, which made pretty exciting stuff.
So thank you all for watching at home. We've been so glad to have you guys viewing Carnage. Thank you for coming up. Scartel, thanks for having us. Sydney Smash, thanks for hosting.
Yeah, an amazing first MRDA Down Under tournament. Woo-hoo. And it'll be really interesting to see the rankings that come out of this.
Yeah, thank you to all the refs and officials and organisers and volunteers and all the people that make Derby happen.
Yeah, an amazing number of people putting time and effort in this weekend.
That's it. So I'm Pure Energy.
And I'm Biffy Miffy.
And you guys are amazing.
Amazing.
We'll catch you later.
Yeah, see ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey guys, this is Trixie for Down Under Derby TV with the final game for the MRDA Down Under. Day 2, it was an absolutely phenomenal weekend. We had teams from all over Australia competing against the incredible ThunderQuads from Argentina. Our final score for our final game sits us at 143 to 166 in favour of Scartel. An incredible game with an enormous enormous amount of lead changes. It was really fantastic to see the Carnage come straight out of the gates and just absolutely destroy them in the first half, and then for the Scartel to really make a massive comeback. There were so many lead changes, there were so many things that were pulled out at the last second. It was an absolutely phenomenal game, and honestly, I am just so proud of them, and we'd also like to say a huge shout out to Ash Page, who is apparently in hospital right now, and we love you very much, and thank you for organizing this incredible event. The scores do sit 143 to 166 for your final event this weekend. We had skaters from the Scartel, Carnage, Smash, not Scartel again, Vanguard, and the ThunderQuads, and we would like to say a huge thank you to all of them. We should be crossing over now to Statman in England, and he's going to have a quick chat with some of our wonderful Carnage skaters. Thank you for sticking around, and we will see you next time.
Copter, can you hear me?
I can hear you now, mate. How you doing?
There we go. Not bad. How are you doing?
Look, pretty sweaty and pretty tired, but really happy, really happy.
I can imagine. That was a close loss. How does that feel with your first couple games of MRDA play under your belt?
Look, it's really exciting. We weren't 100% sure if we would make the cutoff, but I think it was either Wednesday or Thursday that we got officially into the MRDA. So we are really ecstatic to get our first 4 games under our belt, and to play the teams we got to play was amazing. You know, the number one and number 2 team in Australia, and then the ThunderQuads, and then my old home team of Brisbane. Like, it's just been a fantastic week.
So how much fun was it to play a team that you really only met, in Calgary and Birmingham?
Look, it was exactly how I remember playing Argentina. The 2014 game, Australia-Argentina, was one of the closest and most exciting games I've ever played. And all of the fun, energy and skate skill that I remember from that game was brought today.
Well, that's great. I mean, that's part of the experience of International Roller Derby, isn't it? Are you planning on doing any travel now that you're MRDA league?
Look, in the last 3 days, we haven't really had much chance to plan it. I think we certainly are open to the option. We're particularly excited about the tournaments like this, where we do get some international teams coming over. But we haven't 100% decided whether or not we're going to travel overseas yet, but certainly a possibility.
And are you thinking about hosting anything in Canberra? I'm sure a couple of teams would love to come down.
Look, we do have some great venues in Canberra, so I think in the next couple of years you should keep an eye out for exciting MRDA tournaments in Canberra potentially.
Excellent. And now can I shift course a little bit and talk about the Wizards? Because I know you've been part of the Wizards two times in a row. Are you personally going for the three-peat? And how do you feel the team's going to shape up coming into Barcelona?
Look, having watched Australian men's nationals in November last year and this tournament, I think one thing I can say to anyone who wants to try out for the Wizards is there are a lot of people who are showing the skill to make that squad. I certainly have put my hand up to try out, but as far as I'm concerned, there's no sure deals when it comes to making the Wizards squad. There's just so much talent in Australian men's roller derby right now. It's going to be a tough gig for anyone who tries to get on the team.
And looking at that talent, where do you think the Wizards are going to end up?
Look, I think we'll be good odds for a medal. The specific colour, who can be sure? But I reckon the Wizards will bring something shiny home from Barcelona.
I think that's a great plan. Now that you're in MRDA League, how much more fun is AMRD Nationals going to be?
Look, it's going to be huge. And I think because it's a really great chance, we know that there are some Australian teams who are planning on some pretty big travel this year, heading up to the Big O. So I think the rankings values of those games at Nationals are going to be really important because the teams will have gotten their rankings from international teams as well. So I think it will just add that a little bit of extra to AMRD Nationals in November this year.
And I think you Australian teams have the most sanctioned play of just about any MRDA teams out there. You had what, 3 games, 4 games this weekend?
4 games. So we've been a MRDA league for 5 days, and we've got 4 sanctioned games in those 5 days. So like that's a pretty good ratio, I think.
That's a pretty good ratio. Well, good luck for the rest of your season. It was good chatting with you, and I hope to see you up in Barcelona.
No worries.
Sooner.
Thanks very much, Matt. Appreciate talking to you. Cheers.
Thank you.